Lovely. Okay, awesome, fantastic. Awesome, well, this was a stupid start. I wish things went smoother. I'm a perfectionist, so this has kind of like really annoyed me. But I can't do anything about it, so no use crying over spilled milk, as they would say. So anyways, talk nerdy to me. Let's talk about what this series is. This series is literally about me wanting to talk to you guys about things that I'm passionate about and topics that you guys are passionate about. Being a nerd about something I really feel isn't something specifically to technology or games or just geeking out in that general. That's in that category, right? To me, being a nerd about something just means you're super passionate about it and you want to talk about it. So this is exactly what that series is. Yes, we can talk about tech stuff or geeky kind of stuff and games and all that kind of thing. Whatever you guys want to talk about, you're going to choose the topic. So to kick this live stream off, one of the topics that I actually really wanted to talk about straight away was about other YouTubers and VidCon and some other things that have been happening over in the States right now around this entire platform, obviously, which is YouTube. Some of you guys probably know, I think it's Logan Paul's brother and all the other stuff that's been happening over at VidCon. And there's just all this ridiculous drama that's been happening. It's been covered on the news. And then even CNN today, I think everyone probably saw the news where they got busted, actually properly busted and proven that they were reporting fake news and just all this ridiculous stuff that's been happening. Me personally, when it comes to YouTube, I think I really want to sit down and find something that I enjoy watching. And for some people, that is drama-associated stuff. But for me, I really dislike those channels that are really focused on just that really younger generation, making a whole bunch of random drama, thumbnails and stuff, all about random kiss challenges and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I guess that's exactly what the platform is, right? There is no age bracket, although there probably should be. And all this kind of stuff. So I just want to know, what are your thoughts about it? I've dropped some stuff. Let's have a discussion about it and see what you guys think. And I guess let's move from there. So I've got the chat open right now. And let me actually move some windows around and see what you guys are saying here. Cool, everyone's just saying yes. Talk nerdy to me. Anyways, maybe while I'm waiting for some comments to roll in, how about I show you guys a little promo video that we finished filming. So in my latest vlog, you saw me go to Yashio Factory, and I was there with Oka-chan and stuff again, and we filmed another promo video. Now, if you don't follow Otaku Garage on Facebook, you probably haven't seen that yet. The drift taxi vlog. Yes, sometimes I do clickbait, but that is because I need to get people in, right? I need to get people interested because, I mean, if you're clicking for that JDM drift taxi thing, then you're going to find the rest of my content is actually right up your alley. It's just me trying to get you to introduce to my content and saying, hey, if this attracted you, then you're going to like actually the rest of my content. Anyways, I'm going to roll this promo video for you guys. Yeah, you guys tell me what you think. It's a promo video just stressing to people they need to be able to get their tickets if they want to drive for Drift Matsuri. And yeah. Talk.
おーい、エントリーできねえじゃねえかよ。これどうなってんだよ。もう59分だぞ。おいおい、ちくしょう、どうなってんだこれ。
奥ちゃん、何するの？
ドリフト祭りのチケット買おうとしてるんだよ。
でも買わなくていいじゃんでしょ。
なんでだよ。
ゲストだから。
そうなの？
本当？
なんだよ、こんな大変なのにみんな変えたらいいな。
All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that. It was heaps of fun making, and it was like really good just working with Oka-chan to make that kind of funny video. And if none of you guys actually know what Drift Matsuri is here at Queensland Raceway, it's essentially a 3-day drift festival, and everyone gets to drift. Drifting starts like all day Saturday and Sunday and Friday night. So it's kind of like this whole 3-day drift kind of festival. And obviously my company Otaku Garage, we're bringing Oka-chan over from Yashio Factory, and we're super pumped to have him there. But if ever you want a driving ticket, it's a really kind of a little bit of a big ordeal to try and get your ticket. And that is because there's only like 200 or so spots, and there's lots of people that want to get a ticket, and they only like go up for sale from 9 a.m. on a specific day. And normally the website like can crash or freeze, so everyone's like trying to log in at that one time, trying to get their spot before they all sell out. So that was just kind of like, I guess, kind of like a little comedy video we did to try and like encourage people, like, hey, make sure you're ready on time. And Oka-chan really enjoyed it, so it was heaps of fun shooting. And yeah, let's hope no more blown engines like 2015. That was a really crappy year. The person who we sponsored for that Drift Matsuri, he's a really good friend of mine, and unfortunately, he has just had no luck with RBs. I guess that's also because because of money and stuff, he's been like buying a lot of mystery motors, but every single one of them's blown up. I think he's gone through like another 5 since then, and it's always like in the first like day of Drift Matsuri or a drifting event. So he's finally just gone, nah, I'm not doing things cheaply anymore, and he's sorting himself out there and getting himself a JZ powered Nissan. So that's going to be really cool. What else is going on? I have a trip to Australia happening in about a week, and I'm going for a morning session. So if any of you guys are going to be around on the 11th of July, feel free to come down and visit me. I'll be just pretty much drifting for the morning session. The whole Otaku Garage crew, I've pretty much let all my staff take the day off, and I've bought them a driving ticket, so they're all coming as well. So that's going to be super fun. So that's the 11th of July. If you want to come visit, get some passenger runs and stuff like that, you're more than welcome to. It is a morning session though, so make sure you jump on QR's website to check all that kind of stuff. But maybe you guys have some questions or some Q&A stuff or anything that you want to throw in there. Maybe just start filling up the comment section, and I'll filter through them all as we go. I'm hoping to wrap this this live stream up by around 8:45 p.m. my time, so that'd be like 9:45 p.m. In Australia. In the US, I'm not entirely sure what time it'll be there now. It's probably like some places it'll be around like 6 a.m., maybe 7 a.m. But anyways, what have we got going on here? I'll just quickly filter through the chat. I stopped watching anime for this. Make it work. I made it work, and that's a huge deal, you stopping watching anime for this. I appreciate that. Speaking of anime, actually, yeah, this is a topic we can talk about. Who here watches Attack on Titan? And like the season finale on that was just like, insane. And then also, if there's any Naruto fans, Boruto's going right now. That's really good. I'm enjoying that series. What else we got here? 3-car Dream Garage. 3 cars isn't enough for my dream garage though. If I was to have a dream garage, I'd probably have like 3 or 4 across with car lifts and stuff for storing cars on either side. But I definitely want a 35 GDR, I want a 34 GDR, and then obviously my 34, which will be a time attack car. I want that fully set up for time attack, and then my drift car, which will probably eventually one day I wouldn't mind getting an 86 chassis and doing some crazy Nissan engine like combo thing in there. But anyways, like that's the thing with drifting, right? You're always gonna, the chassis can't really be super important to you because eventually it will break, and the more and more damage you do, it takes a toll. You can only do so much before eventually you go, all right, I'll pick another shell kind of thing, right? So drift cars kind of always up in the air, but I really do like Nissan, so I like to stick around there. I could not get into the season of Attack on Titan. You really, you couldn't get into this season? I admit the start of it was kind of confusing and slow because I had to try to remember everything from season 1. Let's remember it's been 4 years since the first season, so it was a struggle for me to get into it as well because I'm trying to remember, hang on, what is all this about? What happened here? And then like midway through this season, I started actually remembering everything when they did a few flashbacks and stuff. So that was good, and I didn't have to rewatch season 1 because that would be a nightmare. What is Netflix like in Japan? They only just recently got Netflix here, and I mean it's good. It is really good, but it's just like when Netflix first came out in Australia or anywhere else. It kind of sucks initially if you're used to the original Netflix. And for me personally, I want to watch all the American TV shows and stuff, right? And the only way to do that is with a VPN, which is against the user agreement when you sign up for Netflix. So yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a dull point for me. So I mean, yeah, like Netflix is fine if you have a VPN and you don't get caught, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Especially if you're a foreigner, because you really want I mean, there are some American TV shows here on the Japan Netflix, but they put the subtitles on it, and even now they're actually starting to just dub it, and they don't give you an option for English. So that kind of sucks. What else? Move on to another question. It's 5:58 a.m. right now. Dude, what are you doing awake at like 5:58 a.m.? I hope you're awake for work or something, because that's insane, unless you're just binge watching anime that late in the morning. I have to say that I've done that before, so I can't blame you if that is what you're doing. That sounds awesome. I wish I had time to do that. How are you settling in your new home? How am I settling? I am really enjoying the space. Time seems to go a lot slower here for us because there's just so much more space here, and it's a lot easier for us to enjoy, like, being in our home. Settling in wise, I mean, when you move from a small place to a big place, it's kind of difficult because we don't really know where we want to put everything or what kind of furniture we want to buy. So we're still trying to feel stuff out. There's boxes everywhere still. This is really like my first big move, like going from somewhere small to somewhere big. And I'm just like going kind of crazy about it because, I mean, for me, I'm like, I just want to get in there, get something done the moment I start it to finish completion, right? I don't like lingering things around. And that's a real big issue for me. So like seeing boxes around that can be unpacked that we just don't have a place or we haven't decided where we want to put it yet really is kind of frustrating me. But at the same time, I understand it. So yeah, it's all part of it, right? So yeah, I'm just really excited. Probably within like the next month, just getting more furniture from IKEA. Trying not to stress out when I'm in IKEA because of how much of a maze that place is, and I hate walking around in that place for ages. So yeah, the whole headache of moving into a bigger place it's kind of frustrating. But I'm super pumped because we're renting this place for 2 years. In 1 year I get my permanent residency, which then means I will be able to purchase a house here in Japan. So I'm really excited about that, and because this is such a big stepping stone. And this house, like, I really do enjoy it. I like it a lot. And if the opportunity did come up that I could purchase it at the end of the 2 years, I probably would, or I'd find something else very similar. So I'm really excited because of just what kind of a stepping stone this place is for us. Because we're here for 2 years, and then after that we'll be able to buy and actually own our own place. And instead of rent money going nowhere, it's actually going to be going to something we own. So that's going to be really exciting. Let's have a look at some more comments because that was a bit of a tangent, I feel. It was an okay season. Come on, man. Like, I mean, the season was kind of just like a build-up to the other seasons that are coming out and answering a whole bunch of questions we had about Season 1 for Attack on Titan. So I didn't enjoy the first half. I loved, like, the last, 4 episodes. Had me, on the edge of my seat. So it was awesome. Your garage name inspired me to use it in my YouTube name. Also, I'm Toyota Geek /nerd. Awesome, man. Otaku really is it's odd because so many people just think otaku just means weird kind of creepy person in Japan. But what it actually means is just obsession. You're obsessed about something. You're passionate about something. So when we wanted to name our garage, that just felt like that was the perfect thing to call it because we're so obsessed about Japanese cars and customer service, making sure that we don't rip anyone off. We don't. We make sure the customer's always first. And if you go through our reviews and stuff like that, you really get a feel that like we've actually accomplished that, and we really like to make our customers feel like we're different from all the rest. So that's something we're super passionate about, as well as Japanese cars as well. So like those things I think are super important to have together. Otherwise, if you're passionate about Japanese cars, but you're not passionate about being different from the rest and treating your customers like shit, I mean, then you're not going to actually do well at the thing you're passionate about, which is Japanese cars. Those two things really need to be together for you to actually succeed and do well. Let's have a look here. Hello from Australia. Hello, Australia. 2JZ RX-7 or 2JZ S14? Everyone seems to be putting 2JZs in anything these days. If I was to look at that from a what would be easier perspective, 2JZ and an S14 hands down, because there's just so much bolt-on kits and stuff like that for doing that. It's really easy to do because there's so many people that have already done it, so finding information on how to do things will be quite good for you. As for the RX-7, you're going to have to do a lot of mods. Actually, I even think that the engine bay, you may need to actually cut the firewall to slide it back a little bit. As the RX-7 engine bay is quite small, you're going to struggle fitting things there. It's going to be a lot more expensive for you to do. So if you want something that's going to be a little bit cheaper, well, when I say a little bit, it's probably going to be a whole lot cheaper actually. Pick the S14. If you want something that's there's heaps of information out there on how to do, pick the S14. Just common sense wise, pick the S14. If you want to do something totally badass that stands out from the rest and a little bit more unique than an S14 2J, then lean towards the RX-7. Honestly, I always try to think of different combinations that are unique that no one's ever done before, but when you come up with the classification or the category of unique, that comes with expensive, time-consuming, and figuring things out that no one's ever done before. So just realize that, I guess, yeah. Do you think BMW E36 is a good first car for a drift car? Hell yeah, they're a good car. Rear-wheel drive, nice and torquey. I'm not a BMW guy myself. Like, I don't know too much about BMWs, but from the perspective of what they got going for them, how cheap they are now, and what you can do with them, and what plenty of other people out there on YouTube are doing with them. Like, I mean, look at Hoonigan. They bought a $300 like E36, and the thing's still going. Like, everyone smashed it and crashed it. They drove a freaking Jeep over it. Like, and the thing's still going, still doing donuts every day. So I mean, you can't go wrong with them. They're cheap. They seem to be reliable, and parts are cheap for them as well. So I mean, if you can get your hands on one at a good price, yeah, for sure, good car to learn in, because you can just bash it up, and then when you're done, take it to the junkyard. Business idea: importing into America Ford Falcon, Holden Commodore, and a lot of people know about Commodores and want them. Not so much with the Falcons, but might car using the Barra helped. Oh, Mighty Car Mods using the Barra helped. Okay, I see what you meant there. That it must have been a typo, autocorrect or something. Can I just say, and I think I said this in the previous live stream, that for the first time in a very long time, I thoroughly enjoyed that little episode on Mighty Car Mods with the Barra conversion. It was quick, straight to the point. There was minimum random jokes by Moog. I really find those frustrating when they go on those weird like sexual joke tangents. And I was like, come on, show me the car stuff, right? Anyways, so I really enjoyed that because that was quite a unique build. So tops to them. Holden Commodores, I mean, maybe it's a good business idea if there's enough hype for it. I guess, it comes down to people want things that are unique. And if people in America really want Commodores, then by all means, you can get them pretty cheap here. So they may not be in good condition, but if that's what they want in America and you can make good profit off it, go for it. Do some research on it though. Do a lot of research on it. Because to me that just seems crazy that people in America would want to buy all the really bad Commodores over here. Because I think for America to even be able to get them, they have to be 25 years old. 25-year-old Commodores are not in the best condition here at all. They get thrashed and bashed, and yeah, do your research is all I want to say on that. But yeah, sure, if there's money to be made, there's money to be made. Do it. Are you an anime nerd too? Well, if you've watched any of my videos, you've probably seen me wearing a lot of anime shirts. So if that answers your question, yes, I do enjoy anime. My wife enjoys anime. We enjoy watching it sometimes before going to bed and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm quite into anime. I get weird messages and comments about my name all the time. Yeah. People do often ask what it means, otaku, right? 4 a.m. here in Washington State. Man, thank you so much for tuning into the live stream at 4 a.m. You are a true fan. Watched your video on importing a car before getting my R32 GTR. Finally found the GTR I wanted. I will be on the new Top Gear show here in the US this summer. Wow, that's awesome. Cool, man. Well, give me a shout out if you can. That would be sick as. Maybe just say, hey, yeah, I got some advice from this YouTuber, and you should check him out. That's awesome, though, to get on Top Gear. I don't even know how you would do that. MCM has gone downhill, needs old school episodes back. Yeah, I mean, MCM, it does definitely feel like they're more corporatized, right? Like they're more selling a product now, which is their content. So I do feel you there. It does definitely feel like they've sold out, right? So that kind of sucks. But we'll see where it goes. I mean, look, MCM, I guess, has always been like, you know, they started off with just like kind of almost vlog style car fixing vlogs. They pretty much were. And then they just kind of moved up, and they had a lot of like silly stuff in there. But then as they started like more producing things in the aspect of like for advertising and all that stuff, because you know a lot of these videos, they're earning money on the side from advertising and dropping hints and things in there, like recommending a certain tool brand, super cheap, like all that kind of stuff. They're getting huge royalties for that. So, you know, of course, like they have to start adding that in if they want to earn that money, which is funding their lifestyle and things like that, which is then enabling them to produce the content they are. But I guess, you know, I think they still could do the same type of old content they were, but on the second channel kind of thing. So maybe they will. Maybe they will. I think they're still learning, and they're still kind of like feeling around what the go is. But I mean, the more people that comment on that type of stuff and tell them that, the more they're going to realize and the more they're going to change. So my recommendation there is just tell them. I mean, for me personally, I want my channel to be so many different things. I want there to be professional grade videos on there, but I also want there to be my original vlog type of stuff. And then, you know, other series videos where I give tips and things about things here in Japan. I give you guys advice, my opinion on things. Like, that's what this live stream's about. So, yeah, I guess, like, I really want to make sure that I cater my entire audience and everyone in there as best as I can. Okay, let's move on to another one. I've bought a VESS and it's more fun than my R34 Skyline. Does that make me a bad person? I feel like it does. But, I mean, it depends in what category, right? Like, are you driving the R34 like you would drive the SS? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like normally, like, for me, until I moved to Japan, I babied my R34 in Australia so much. And then when I moved to Japan and I wasn't using it for a daily, and its importance of like, hey, if this car breaks down, it's going to hurt my pocket and my wallet, as well as it's going to stop me from being able to move around heaps. Well, you know, because I was living in Japan and I was only visiting Australia for like a week and then doing drift events and stuff like that, then I was just kind of like, all right, yes, this is still kind of like being used as my daily when I'm here in Australia, but if I break it, I leave it at the garage and I get the guys to fix it. They have like 3 months before I come back to make sure it's fixed. Not a big deal. So for me, I drive my 34 now, you know, and I use it on the track as a drift car until my drift car is ready. And until then that car will then go on the sideline, get completely rebuilt as a time attack car, and I will be using my 200SX drift car. So, I mean, it just kind of like, are you driving your 34 like you're driving the SS? I feel like you would drive the SS a little bit harder and kind of send it a little bit more than you would the 34, just because of maybe the 34 means a bit more to you than that. You know what I mean? You can still have just as much fun in a 34, if not more, I think, than in an SS, because, you know, body weight differences, torque differences, and I mean, turbo sounds. Come on, like your SS doesn't make cool turbo sounds when you put your foot down. Sure, it makes V8, but yeah. Anyways, I'm digging myself a hole, I think. I asked a few other YouTubers like Adam LZ the same question. They all said to get a BMW E36. Excuse me. Yeah, a really good drift car is a BMW E36, especially in the States. But do the USA have a 25-year rule? Yeah, they do. The USA, this was to encourage their economy to grow and all this other kind of stuff on the sidelines. They put it under the category of that they didn't meet the safety requirements for like the road department, like Department of Transport for the USA. And so they banned any import cars, and this was to help boom the internal economy of the US. And the only way that you could get an imported car legally registered and allowed on the roads in the US and not getting crushed is if you had the ability to do all these things to make it meet the standards that they wanted for the USA, which was really high and silly. And anyways, you can do a lot of research on that on Google if you want. There's lots and lots to read about that. And yeah, I could talk about that for like 2 hours. There's so much information out there. Do your own research, please. Do you watch Roadkill? Of course I watch Roadkill. That is awesome. I wish I had enough I wish I could justify to spend money on actually buying a subscription to their on-demand service so I could watch it more regularly. But yes, anytime there's a new video out, I watch it. I really like their Ratson or the old Datsun that they've put the V8 in, or actually, yeah, they've just put a V8 in. It previously had a V6 and they beat the thing to crap and it blew up so many times they went to a V8. Anyways, their last video on that was awesome. I would love to stay for more, but I need to get back to work. No worries, mate. Get back to work and enjoy your night shift. Have a Red Bull, drink lots of water, and you'll be sweet. Get some rest when you get home. I hate night shifts, but good money, right? I agree. I think I do baby my R34 more. I'm always cautious of leaving it anywhere or parking. Well, there you go. You answered your own question. You're going to have more fun in a car that you don't mind, like, thrashing more than the other, right? If your 34 is your baby, then, I mean, that's your baby. You don't want to thrash it. And so, I mean, justify it. But if you want to have fun in your 34 and safe fun, get out to a big track like Queensland Raceway. It's super big, heaps of room for stuff-ups. The back of Snake's Gully, man, or the back of, what do they call it? Snake's Gully or Dipper. That's straight along there, man. I've like mungied and done 360s around there and still had so much room to correct myself and gone into the dirt and still not damaged or broken anything. So my best advice to have fun in your 34 is go out onto a track and have some fun. Then you'll think twice. The Rotson, that's it, yeah. It's super awesome, right? Really old school like Datsun. I think it's a 260 or a 240. We call it an S30 here in Japan. But super old school. They didn't like paint it and make it look good and stuff, which is kind of their thing, you know. They just fixed everything up the best they could. They even just put a random like door latch on the door and stuff to hold it shut. And then they just threw like a torquey V8 in there and put a turbo on, had some fun. Like, that's awesome. And that's the type of stuff that I want to do with this channel when we get to a level and I have enough of you guys in this awesome family that we have where, you know, I'm earning money from AdSense, which is obviously what the YouTube thing is, and I'm able to then fund all this awesome content. Like, just go to the auctions and actually film myself bidding in person. You know, there are only a few auction houses in Japan that still allow that. Most of it's all gone online now. So for me to like do that and like do like all that kind of thing, buy like the beat us up piece of crap Japanese car that I can find, and then just take it to like Drift Matsuri here and drift it and just, you know, do all that kind of stuff. You know, there's heaps of exciting things that I want to be able to do. But obviously, you know, I need to wait till we're at that level. And by the way, guys, while we're on this topic of just like growing this family, seriously, it is ridiculous this weekend. I hit 4K subscribers on, I think it was Friday night, literally 4K, and then out of nowhere, like another 200 just, bam, all came rolling in. So if you're new to the channel and you're watching this, thanks heaps for joining. Welcome to the family, and I'm super pumped about the future and what I'm going to be able to do because of you guys supporting me. So thumbs up, and I can't wait to make a drift taxi like in real life and go drift it and have some fun. So yeah, let's do that. Back to some more comments and people talking. What do we got here? Blah, 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 blah. Trying or drink some JDM Boss coffee. We actually, I did a little shipment of that to Otaku Garage, and we offer a free can of Boss like JDM coffee and stuff to customers who book in for a service. So if you are in the area and you haven't experienced Otaku Garage yet, go drop your car off for a service and get a can of free JDM Boss coffee. You can get it heated up or cold. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, watching that, like, I really need to learn more about V8s and like all that kind of stuff. I was kind of like, man, that sucks, because that motor was like 600 horsepower before the blower wore out. That sucks. But I mean, at the end of the day, superchargers versus turbochargers, superchargers do have a tendency of wearing out a lot more, and then you've got super turbos as well, depending on what you choose, ball bearing or journal. There's all these different pros and cons, right? So I mean, at the end of the day, if you're using the car for what it's built for and you're thrashing it all the time, you're doing heaps of runs, I mean, things are going to wear down really quickly. Like, people always dream about, I want a 1,000 horsepower car, I want a 2,000 horsepower built Skyline that can do ridiculous times and stuff, like billet block this, billet block that. But then the reality is you can't run that like a daily. That is literally like, you're not going to get multiple runs out of that. You may have to, after a couple tries at the track, rebuild the whole thing, or do a whole heap of maintenance, because the fact is once you start creeping up to that really high horsepower mark from like 600 and above, maintaining the car actually becomes a lot more tedious, and things wear out a lot quicker. The faster those parts are moving, the more they're going to wear out, and the quicker they're going to wear out. So I mean, high horsepower is fun, definitely awesome, and it's an achievement to build. But it's not reliable, unfortunately, at least not yet. And I mean, you can drop lots and lots and lots of more money on it and make it more reliable. You totally can do that. And that's, like getting billet blocks and stuff. And, I have some really good business ideas that, in the future where I want to design and make some billet engine blocks and stuff. So, I'd love to do that. And, it would be great if we can get that threshold up so that you can get a more reliable, a high horsepower engine. Like, how cool would it be if you could have a super reliable 1,000 horsepower motor that didn't wear out as quick as what they do currently? That'd be sick. Anyway, sorry, the amount of talking you do dries out my throat. Where are we at in the comments here? On to another one. Know a site that ships Tomica 164 car models to Australia? No, I don't, sorry. I did see, I've personally had a couple of Tommy Kayara. I think Kiara is how it would be pronounced in Japanese, but anyways, I have seen a few of those cars come in through the auctions. I actually posted one of the R32s that was in auction, and it sold for a fair amount. And I posted that on the Otaku Garage Facebook page and just said if anyone was interested to contact me, because that's pretty rare to see. And actually, let me see if I can pull it up real quick here. Just a picture of it. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up, because personally, when I look at the way the body kit and stuff is made, I don't personally like the look at it. I appreciate it that it's something rare, but I've just never kind of been a fan of how they do the side fenders. Let me pull up the Otaku Garage Facebook. It was a really nice white one, and yeah, I've just never really enjoyed how they did the rear fenders and how it comes down and kind of covers the tire a little bit. It kind of reminds me of like a Caravan. It's a little bit odd. Here we go. Photos. How do I get to this photos section? This new layout they do for the Facebook pages is kind of a bit frustrating. Here we go. Photos. Time. Here we go. Let me pull this up and change the screen real quick. Okay, there's a bit of inception going on right now, but let me quickly change this and full screen it. Oh, will that full screen correctly? I am not sure. I better just not go crazy full screen because I don't know if the Mac will support that. Okay, so this was the Tomichiara R32 that was for sale in the auctions. That it went for around about, I think after fees and everything, it would have been around about 60 grand. So it was pretty high up there. But yeah, I'm just not a fan of these side fenders. Like the way it kind of like covers the tire a little bit. It just looks a bit odd. I mean, sure, if it's your cup of tea, then go for it. Like that's awesome. But like I appreciate this, and like just because it's it's rare. They're really one of a kind and unique. And if you enjoy it and like the look of it, then by all means, like that's your thing. So yeah, that's Oka-chan, by the way. In a video we shot, he had to stand on a stool next to me because of how short he is. He's a really short guy. Anyway, so yeah, that was a really clean example of a Tomichiara R32. So what I might do now is go back to here. Yeah, so I see them a fair bit popping up in the auctions, but they sell for a mint, guys. So unless you got like a huge budget, they're a little bit out of, I guess, a lot of people's price range. If you're a collector, go for it. What else we got here in the comment section? Let's churn through some more. Hey, what's your favorite color for the R34? I'm a super big fan of white. I don't know what it is about it, but I really enjoy like a pearl white because it's just something that looks nice about it. If you guys have watched my vlogs where I like do walkarounds and stuff on my 34, you probably know that there's some Japanese on the side and it says Shira Yukihime, which is Japanese for White Snow Princess or Snow White. And I just really enjoy the white because I don't know what it is. Like I just really think they look good. If I was to get a GDR though, I really do like the Bayside blue. It just looks so good, Bayside blue, and like like the black spoilers and stuff, and like little features and things that just do really well highlighting the car. I don't know what it is, but it just turns me on. So yeah, I'm a real big fan of the 34 GDR Bayside blue, but then like I really do like white. But the red color of my 33.4 here in Japan is really growing on me. Me and my wife are still trying to pick a nickname for it, and I'll share this with you guys because it's really funny. My wife said this, okay, not me, just making sure you guys understand this. She's a little bit of a stirrer and a joker as well. Mei-chan was saying, oh, like, what are you going to call this car? Because, you call the one in Australia Shira Yukihime, which is Snow White, and then you call your drift car in Australia that's being built Kurohime, which is Black Princess. And then what are you going to call this car? And it's red. So, like, what can you call it? And I was just like, oh, I mean, I guess I could call it Akahime, which just means red princess, but that kind of doesn't make sense. And then my wife looks at me and she says, you should call it period Hime. And I'm like, what? And she goes, yeah, because it's red and like periods. And I'm like, oh, so then we can just hang like a white string out of the exhaust, right? It was a crack up. I don't know if you guys would really enjoy it. You had to be there, I guess. But just on the DL, we kind of are calling it the period car at the moment because of its color. So if you guys want to laugh about that and have a good joke about it, you're more than welcome to in the comment section in the videos and stuff. But eventually, like if I do think of like a really cool name, we'll call it that. But yeah, as I said, my wife made the joke. I just carried it on. Okay, so I wasn't being sexist or anything like that. Here we go. Let's have a look. Yeah, superchargers can explode. I've seen videos of that, but I mean turbos can too, right? So that 2000 wheel horsepower GTR from 1320 video was pretty insane, but yeah, you'll never be able to drive it on the road. Well, I mean, you can drive it on the road, but it just comes back down to it's not going to be reliable. I mean, on the road, daily driving it, those parts in that car are going to wear out so quick, and you're going to have to rebuild the whole thing again in no time. Like, it's crazy. The amount of running hours, like with motorbikes, right? They don't generally, like with dirt bikes, they don't go by how many kilometers it's done. They go with how many hours the engine is run. literally with those high horsepower engines, there's an hour, like certain amount of hours before you need to pull things apart and replace bearings and all that kind of stuff, like because it's just so the parts are moving so quickly, it's so much more intense, there's so much more boost going in there, everything's under so much more pressure that it wasn't designed for, that those parts just wear out really quickly, as I said before. So I mean, there's really only hours on those engines before you need to start rebuilding them and replacing parts. So I guess that's what I'm kind of saying. Like it's cool to have that, break some world records and do some cool stuff and everything, but ever wondered why you always see it kind of sitting in the corner of the garage and only getting run like down the strip and not anywhere else? And that's because of that. A lot of monies get spent on them and you don't want to break it. I've never seen a 32 like that before. And that's pretty much what everyone else said when I showed it on Otaku Garage's page. Unless you know a Tomikara kit on the 32, you don't know what you talk, like you've never seen that before and you're like, that is the weirdest thing I've ever seen and not my kettle of fish for sure. But yeah, some people really enjoy it because it's super rare and it's Japanese and people will love it. By the way, I apologize if I'm pronouncing Tomikara wrong. Yeah, tell me how it's meant to be pronounced maybe in the comment section, somehow spell it out, and hopefully I'm getting that right. Have you visited Liberty Workshop? Kato-san seems to be such a fun guy to hang out with. Kato-san is a fun guy to hang out with, and there'll be some content coming soon. I can't talk too much about it, but I can say, I guess the hint I will drop is I personally have his number in our phones, me and my wife's phones. So we'll be going and hanging out with him and shooting and vlogging and stuff like that shortly. So yeah, that'll be sick. Does Otaku Garage have a Snapchat? No, we don't have a Snapchat, but I personally have a Snapchat. I rarely use it though. If you want to follow like daily stories and that kind of thing, follow me on Instagram. It's abstractstudios_official. That's the best way to do it. As well, you can also follow me on my personal Instagram, which is Sammit01. I'll write that right now in the comment section. So abstractstudios_official. And then Sammit01. Yeah, so, I mean, maybe I'll get into Snapchat, like, as the channel gets bigger, and, like, if you guys keep asking me to get a Snapchat and start doing that, then I'll do it. But, I mean, like, I only have a personal Snapchat, and honestly, I just use it for, like, when my friends are like, hey, I sent you a cool video on Snapchat, go check it out. And I'm like, why'd you send it to me on that platform? I never use it, kind of thing. There's so many different social media things these days, and I just really feel like, it's difficult to, like, keep up with all of it. Like, it would be awesome if I could just take a photo or a video and it go to all of them, right? But, you know, there's only third-party apps with that, and I don't trust giving my username and passwords to those, and, you know, and they're dodgy. They always stop working whenever there's a new update. They're not approved, and, yeah, like, there's so many different social media platforms. It's just difficult for me to keep up. He can drive the GTR on the road for 5 minutes. Yeah. Your car is period correct. Oh, I'm loving the puns on that. What are some good budget performance parts for a Subaru Liberty wagon? Tomei do a lot of really good bolt-on performance parts for the Subaru. There are a lot of other good companies out there that do the same thing as well. I don't do heaps of research and work on Subarus though, so I'm not the best to give you advice on that. I'm sorry, but on this one I'm going to have to say your buddy Google is your best friend. Where in Oz am I from? I'm from... Okay, so I was born in Mount Isa, which, if you know Australia, it's like really close to the borderline of Queensland, near like around where like Alice Springs and all that kind of stuff is. I lived there for like the first 7 to 8 years of my life, and then we moved to Brisbane, my family, and I pretty much was born in, like, bred in Brisbane. I was born in Mount Isa, moved out, and then pretty much spent the rest of my life in Brisbane, north side of Brisbane. So like Petrie, Strathpine, Chermside area, around there. Where are we up now? Blah, blah, blah. How do you think the Impul 30... What do you think about the Impul 32 sedan? I've heard that a lot, and I think I've read about it, but I don't know it off the top of my head. I should probably Google that. But I'll just move to the next one because I'm not super educated on that. Same with the 2,000 horsepower LS V8 skid cars. You always see them blow up after doing a few big skids. That is the sad point about it. And it just goes back to reliability, right? Turn the horsepower up, reliability goes down. Get a Discord, man. It's pretty good. Chatting with fans. That iPhone Titanic meme on your Insta. What? Nice. That iPhone Titanic meme on your Insta. Oh, that was old. I remember that. That's a long time. Nice, man. And now Japan. Haha, that's wicked. Yeah, so Japan, I never actually thought, like, I kind of actually ended up living here by mistake, in all honesty. I wasn't planning for a long time or anything to move here. It literally just kind of happened. And naturally just fell into place. It wasn't like I had this whole like plan and strategy or anything like I normally would. I literally was just coming to Japan. In my head, Japan was always just like a vacation, go there to go snowboarding, go there to just chill out and relax from all the busyness that I'm doing in Australia with business and all that kind of stuff. But then out of nowhere, I met my wife here and stuff like that. Well, now my wife. And all that kind of stuff, and then with the way the business was going and how fast it was growing, we needed someone here in Japan, and I was just like, well, instead of like, getting married and then Mayumi having to move with me to Australia, it just made more sense for me to kind of like move here to Japan. So I did. Do you like the VL turbos? I love the VL turbos because they have an RB30 turbo block, and I can make an RB30 Nissan out of that. Well, I mean, it is a Nissan engine, so that's why I like the VL Turbo. I don't like the shape of the car or the car itself, but I love the engine that's in it because it's a Nissan. Discord is an app, by the way. I've heard about Discord. I will spend some time Googling that and maybe doing some research. So thanks for the tip there. I will check that out. Keep up the good work on your channel. Thanks, man. I will. I'm super pumped for what's going to be coming. Like, there's so many things I want to do. And obviously, the more subscribers we get and all that kind of stuff, the more I can do. So that's going to be awesome. One of my things is, like, I really want to increase the quality of these live streams, get a better rig for live streaming. Right now, I'm using my MacBook Pro Retina, and it does struggle. Like, a lot of the technical issues I have with these live streams is literally just because with the computer that I have right now, is I have a lot of issues with devices, interfaces, and things like that, sometimes just not working. And it always happens 5 minutes before the live stream. I always check and make sure everything works like 30 minutes before the live stream, but then 5 minutes before, stuff stops working every time. Yeah, I really did score lucky with the car culture and like everything that's happening over here. It's ridiculous the amount of favor that everyone that I meet and get in touch with. It's crazy. They just seem so welcoming and chill, so it's been awesome. I'm going to have another drink of water. How do politics work in Japan? Do you have to vote? I do have to vote. I got a letter in the mail for out of nowhere saying I have to vote. And I'm not even registered as a permanent resident yet, so go figure. I'm just registered as someone that lives here. That's difficult to explain. I am registered as under a Japanese koseki, as the head of the koseki, and that's really weird. The koseki is kind of like a family tree that they create in the government database that then says you are a part of Japan. So as far as the government's concerned, I'm a permanent resident here in Japan. But as far as my visa says, I'm not a permanent resident yet. So like when I went to go get my visa, they were super confused because it's supposed to be impossible for a foreigner to get a koseki and all of that. And they were kind of like, well, you already have a koseki and you're applying for this. This makes no sense because if you have this, you're already supposed to be permanent resident. So I don't know what happened. Some mistake or something happened and I was able to get that. And because of that, they were just like, well, we don't really need you to do all this paperwork. We have to give you a visa because you already have this. Come back in 3 years and we'll give you the permanent residency thing that matches up with the koseki. So that was really weird and just like kind of like a miracle almost how I got that, because they were really shocked and like, how the hell did you get this? So that was a really unique situation for me. I'm not sure if you saw my comment earlier, but I've linked your channel on my stream channel. What do you stream, man? Like, what type of stuff do you stream? Do you do gaming and stuff like that? But thanks for that. That's awesome. Thanks heaps for the shout out. Do you die if you get caught? What's weed like in Japan? Do you die? I don't know. I've never smoked weed. Sorry, guys. I've never done drugs. Never done drugs. So, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. I do have some friends here that are involved in that kind of stuff, and from what I understand, if you get caught, you get in a lot of trouble here. Not just like, you know, those like, you know, I guess like broader drugs like, you know, cocaine and all that type of stuff. If you get caught with, I think it's like those fake ones, those synthetic ones that they make, you can get in a lot of trouble for that too. So there's this like huge underground market. I don't know much about it because I'm not obviously involved in it, so I can't really comment much about it. I'm just telling you what I've heard through friends here. No, you don't die. You just go to jail. I'm pretty sure is what happened. Yeah, I stream Forza Horizon 3 and I stream on Mixer. Never done drugs yet. Wears a Bay hat and rather than a stock 180 SS. That's rarer than a stock 180 SS. Oh, that's so true. I can't argue with that. That's hilarious. I literally just wear a hat because when I wake up at 6 a.m. to do an early shift, or if I'm in a rush and I'm really busy, I don't have time to do my hair, right? That's why like I've been cutting it super short, because like I just don't have time to do my hair, and the easiest way for me to get around that is to just throw a hat on, and that's that. People at work actually talk about how I always wear a hat because, you know, they're like, oh, what? He must really like hats, you know, and I'm sure you guys have probably thought that too because there's so many videos of me wearing hats. But it's just because I'm lazy. I don't have time to do my hair. So yeah, that's why. And I have a few hats that I just like to alternate between. It just makes it easier, you know, throw a hat on, don't have to worry about hair or anything like that, right? I still can't get over that comment. Never done drugs. That's that's gold. That's awesome. Yeah, so it's already like 8:42, and I kind of wanted to wrap this live stream up around 8:45. What's my job? I'll answer that question before I go. My job here in Japan, like my day job or full-time job here until I can, you know, transition away from that and just work for myself and do YouTube and stuff, is I am a live engineer for like a telecommunications company, not telecommunications, a TV productions company, and essentially my job is to look after all live transmissions into the building. So anything, once it's live, I have to support it, look after it. If it breaks, fix it, all that kind of stuff. So the company I work for is, it's called Perform Media, and essentially it's all sports related. So any sports feeds coming in and going out and all that type of stuff of Japan, I look after that. So like I can watch the F1 and all that kind of sport relating stuff that comes into Japan. It's really cool. Like, so I'm there supporting events. So whenever we're broadcasting a live sporting event, I or one of my other team members are there supporting that event, and that generally just means we get to sit there and watch it and make sure nothing breaks. And if it does break, we fix it right away. So that's what I do. It's a lot of downtime, unfortunately, which can suck because like I really do enjoy always being like having something to do. So if there's nothing to do except watch a sport that I'm not interested in, it can be a bit boring for me. But you know, I mean, it's still good and it's still right up my alley of what I do. So yeah, it's fun. My mixer is, I'm not promoting it. I'm not sure what Mixer is, but if you guys do know, go check out GT_Toyota Otaku. He's been a long-term fan on my channel and always commenting and fairly active. So go check him out, give him some love. Check out his channel too, maybe sub to him. Pretty rad, sounds chill. Yeah, it is pretty chill. Things are a bit stressful right now though because we just took on a whole bunch of like new feeds and stuff coming into Japan, so things are a bit intense and new projects and stuff to work on to like get communications between venues and then our control center and all that kind of stuff. It's heaps of fun. Awesome, guys. Well, it is 8:45. I love you all. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey. I can't wait for what's going to happen in the future. Only big things are going to happen, and that's going to be awesome. I can't wait to make amazing and better content for you guys. So with that, guys, thanks heaps for watching. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you all next time. じゃあまたね。